I think it's high time we break the idea of the family meal and turn it into something a little more exciting. If you enjoy a life-changing feast, you've come to the right place. This video is sponsored by Amazon Fresh, so big thanks to them. We're at the physical Amazon Fresh store in Naperville, which, fun fact, is where our little man Vikram is from. I like to get my ingredients from local farms, but I also need the convenience of a grocery store that has a wide selection of great value items that Papa needs. I imagine you do, right? Well, this Amazon Fresh store has that. Look, it's always a competition on who can shop faster in my family, and to my surprise, Amazon Fresh was the answer to that. The Dash cart gives you the convenience of skipping the checkout lines while you see your total in your cart as you shop. Oh, so go to your local Amazon Fresh. All right, that was my fault. But do go to a local Amazon Fresh grocery store near you or shop online for delivery. It's easy. Now, back to the recipe.
All right, if we're gonna make something worthy of replacing Thanksgiving dinner, let's do this right. By starting with dessert, because hey, you never know what's gonna happen, right? Now look, you can totally make baklava, which is great, and I have a recipe for it, links in the description. But today we're gonna make something a little bit different. We're gonna make helva, which is actually shockingly easy. So first start with an 8.5 inch by 4.5 inch loaf pan. Give it a little spray tan of vegetable oil. Line with parchment paper, leaving some overhang. Then in a medium-sized bowl, add in 1 3/4 cup or 415 grams of good quality tahini. Try to find the best that you can. 3/4 cup or 80 grams of shelled pistachios. Mix together. Then in a medium sauce pot, add 1/2 cup or 113 grams of water and 1 pound or 450 grams of granulated sugar. Heat to medium till everything's dissolved, then increase the heat to high and boil that bad boy until it reaches 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Cut off the heat, then while constantly stirring, add in your hot syrup mixture. Stir that bad boy for about 20 to 40 seconds or just until the mixture begins to pull from the sides of the bowl. Do not over stir this. What happens if you over stir? It's just gonna turn into a crumbly, dry mess. Now quickly add that to your prepared loaf pans, press it down. You can add some additional pistachios on top, then just cool that bad boy completely. To serve it, you just cut it into slices, cut it into squares, but please be sure that it's cooled completely first. Now let's make this meal while that bad boy's set. Can't have a proper meal without a nice bread. So we're gonna make something that's kind of Buzz Llama inspired, which is a delectable flatbread. Very easy. First, combine 2.5 teaspoons or 10 grams of instant yeast and 1 cup or 236 grams of lukewarm water, 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of granulated sugar. Whisk that bad boy together till dissolved. Then add 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of extra virgin olive oil, 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of kosher salt. Stir that together. Then finally add 3/4 cup or 175 grams of yogurt. Stir that bad boy together. Now, in a large mixing bowl, 3.5 cups or 525 grams of all-purpose flour, except you're only gonna add half that into your bowl. Add all of your yeasty, milky, yogi-wogi juice. Mix that together till you get a batter, then add the rest of your flour and stir till you get a rough dough, then knead by hand for 3 to 5 minutes or until you have a beautifully smooth dough. Cover with plastic wrap and rise for 1 hour. Punch it down, then divide into 10 evenly sized pieces, about 91 grams each. Roll those bad boys into light balls. Cover with a damp towel, rest for 10 minutes, and preheat a 10 to 12 inch pan over medium-low. And all you gotta do, take a little ball, roll it into a 7-inch circle, try to keep it as circular as possible. Do that with all of your dough balls, dusting with flour as needed. Now to cook these, once your pan is hot, brush the top surface of a flatbread with extra virgin olive oil very lightly, pop it into your pan, cook for 1 to 1.5 minutes, or until the top begins to get nice and bubbly. Brush that part lightly with extra virgin olive oil, flip, and cook for another 1.5 to 2 minutes, or until it looks absolutely lovely. Place it in a towel or something hand-knitted by Ulysses' grandmother. But we need another layer of starch, and it's not gonna be potatoes, it's gonna be rice. It's 2.5 cups or 220 grams of medium grain rice that is washed. Tired of saying it. Wash your rice. Anyway, get a medium skillet and add 2.5 tablespoons or 35 grams of unsalted butter. Heat over medium, and once that's melted in, add in a 1/3 cup or 60 grams of orzo. Toast that bad boy, constantly stirring for about 2 minutes or until it starts to deepen in color. Add your drained, washed rice. Toast that bad boy in there for another minute. Then add that to a rice cooker. Add in 2.5 cups or 600 milliliters of chicken stock. Close your rice cooker and, well, just press the on button because that's why rice cookers are amazing. Thank you. All right, now we need veg. Let's move quickly here. First off, pickles. You can't go wrong with having a little bowl of pickles on the side. First, medium sauce pot. Add 3 cups or 700 milliliters of white distilled vinegar, 1 cup or 240 milliliters of water, 2 teaspoons or 10 grams of granulated sugar, 1.25 tablespoon or 18 grams of kosher salt. Place on the stove over medium-high and bring that bad boy to a boil. Now, while that's coming up, you're gonna make a nice sachet by getting some cheesecloth, laying a little patch down, adding 1 teaspoon or 2 grams of cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon or 3 grams of coriander seeds. Wrap that bad boy up, tie it off tightly, and for your veg, you just need 3 carrots sliced, 3 red Fresno chilies thinly sliced, and 2 large cucumbers, guess what, also sliced, which you can do on a mandolin if you want. Pop those into a large heat-proof container, add in the sachet, and pour your hot vinegar mixture over your vegetables and let it cool completely. Optionally, you can add plastic wrap on top if you want to keep them submerged. Next, let's make some grilled papers. Set a wire rack over an open flame, char 4 Anaheim peppers and 2 red bell peppers all over every little bit, but Anaheim peppers I want charred differently. Now, as we know, the red bell pepper you char until it is totally blackened as possible. But the Anaheim peppers, I'm not gonna peel, so you're gonna go lightly on that char and just get little speckles. of char. Once they're charred nicely, pop them into a bowl, cover with plastic wrap, and let that sit for about 10 minutes. Then remove the plastic wrap, wipe off just your bell peppers, remove the seeds of both, and cut into 2-inch chunks. Now, medium-sized bowl. Add your peppers, along with 1 garlic clove grated, 3 tablespoons or 2 grams of very finely chopped parsley, half a teaspoon or half a gram of fresh thyme finely chopped, 1.5 teaspoons or half a gram of ground cumin, salt and pepper to taste, 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of lemon juice, a quarter cup or 53 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Gently mix that together, and that's your grilled paper. Now, it's almost shawarma time, but I got one more important piece for you. You see this pastry? This is called gozlemi. Am I pronouncing that right? I have absolutely no idea, but it is ridiculous. And it's very easy. Get a medium-sized bowl, add 2.5 cups or 375 grams of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon or 7 grams of fine sea salt, mix together, then add 3/4 of a cup or 171 grams of warm water, and 5 tablespoons or 55 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Mix that together to get a rough dough, then knead that bad boy by hand for 5 minutes or until, oh my God, smooth. Good Lord. Cover and let that rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now remove from the bowl, dusting with flour as needed, separate that into 4 even pieces. And it's made very simply like this. You take a piece, you roll it into a 8 by 14 inch rectangle, or as close to that as possible. And then you make your garlic spinach filling by getting a medium-sized bowl, adding 3/4 of a pound or 350 grams of baby spinach that's been roughly chopped or torn by hand, 3 cloves of very finely chopped garlic, 2 whole eggs, toss, squeeze with your hands. I mean, really crunch down on this. You want to bruise it. You want to ruin that spinach. Now, on your lower half of your rolled out dough, add your spinach mix generously, followed by some crumbled feta, a little bit of fresh parsley leaves, and optionally, some grated casseri cheese. Fold the other side over, kind of like a calzone. Using water to seal if needed, seal thoroughly on one side, then heat 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in a large, non-stick pan over medium-high. Then once your pan's hot, slide in your gozlemi, cook pressing down lightly to keep the edges flat, and cook for 3 minutes, flip, and cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. That is it. It's really that easy. And look at it. I mean, it's impressive. You sliced it. It's crispy on the outside, chewy. It's kind of got a scallion pancake vibe, but it's stuffed with cheese and spinach and garlic, and I'm about to bust it down just thinking about it. You can't have this without a sauce. This is toum. It is single-handedly one of my most favorite sauces in the entire world, and albeit not Turkish, it is Lebanese. It is unbelievable. I'm going to show you how to make it. First, you're going to need 1.25 cup or 120 grams of garlic cloves peeled. Yes, a lot. Cut each of those garlic cloves in half and remove the center germ from each and every half. It's tedious, it's worth it. Put all the garlic in a food processor, along with 2.5 teaspoons or 7 grams of kosher salt. Put on the lid, pulse your food processor a few times until it's finely minced. Now, look, here we have 3.5 tablespoons or 52 grams of lemon juice. First, you're going to start by adding just 1 tablespoon of that lemon juice into your food processor. Process that until a paste forms, add another tablespoon, then process constantly until it's smooth and almost like fluffy looking, kind of like a cloud. You're going to drizzle in half a cup or 120 milliliters of vegetable oil. Follow that with the remaining 1.5 tablespoons of your lemon juice, then drizzle in another half cup of vegetable oil, then a little splash of ice water, another half cup of oil, and repeat this process until you've added a grand total of 3 cups or 700 milliliters grand total of vegetable oil. And what are you left with? The most beautiful, voluptuous garlic sauce that will ever grace your mouth. And next, a yogurt dip called jajik. Get a bowl, add 1 2/3 of a cup or 400 grams of yogurt, 1 tablespoon or 2 grams of finely chopped mint, 2 tablespoons or 8 grams of finely chopped dill, and look, we got 1 large cucumber that's been sliced and diced into 1/2-inch cubes. You're gonna add the majority of that, but just reserve a little bit for later. 2 cloves of garlic grated, 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of extra virgin olive oil, salt to taste, and give that a nice mix until combined. Add your remaining diced cucumbers on top, a little bit of za'atar for pizzazz, parsley leaves, flaky salt, and a nice healthy glug of additional extra virgin olive oil. Now for the most important thing, the shawarma. You can do this many ways, but if you want to be OG, you're gonna need one of these bad boys. And you can click the link in the description and get it on Amazon. Bing bong. But look, you really don't need it. Honestly, you do not. It's mostly a nice to have. First, you're gonna need 3 to 4 pounds of chicken thighs. You can also use lamb shoulder or beef, but we're using chicken thighs. Now look, you can use the boneless, skinless. I will say that having some of the thighs with skin on it does make a big difference, but you will have to debone them in order to do that. Now with your thighs, you're gonna season them with the following: 1.5 tablespoons or 15 grams of kosher salt, 1 1/4 tablespoon or 8 grams of sweet paprika, 1 teaspoon or half a gram of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams sugar, 1 tablespoon or 8 grams of ground cumin, 1.5 teaspoons or 4 grams of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon or 8 grams of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons or 3 grams of ground cardamom, 1 teaspoon or 2 grams of ground black pepper, and mix to coat thoroughly. There's a methodology to how you stack this. You don't just slap on your rod and roll it all the way up to the top of your rod. That doesn't sound right. First, you're gonna need 1 white onion that's been very thinly sliced and 10 cloves of garlic that have also been very thinly sliced. To process that, first, 1 chicken thigh, top that with a few slices of your white onion and a couple slices of your garlic on your spindle. Next layer, chicken thigh. Slide it all the way down, but look, notice how we're doing it the opposite direction. You're gonna keep doing that where it goes chicken thigh, onion, garlic. Another chicken thigh, onion, garlic. Bing, bing, bang, bang, boom. And just keep changing the direction and way that you're facing the chicken so that it's a nice rounded rod. Now look, the beauty of this machine is you literally just turn on the spindle, turn on the propane-powered back end of it, and, well, there you go. It's just gonna do that. It'll take about an hour, but once it starts to cook, you slice it off fresh, and look at the juice on this bad boy. I think we need a taste test.
How am I supposed to eat all this goddamn food by myself? A little bit of this. It's good and all, but like how much flavor could it really have? Good Lord. Obviously the bread, not quite naan, not quite pita. It's sort of a riff off baslama. Soft, chewy, salty, fatty chicken. And that is unreal. The garlic sauce.
Forget about it.
A little bit of this cucumber yogurt. You can eat this straight up or you can put a little bit on here. I just had an Amazon rain shower. Have a little grilled peppy. Sweet, crunchy, acidic. Come on now. I know you want to know about this. I don't really like spinach, but this will make it go down easy. It's like a nice little salty spinach pastry. Rice we know and love. Cooked beautifully in a rice cooker.
As it should always be.
Delicious, and the stock makes the difference.
Don't skip it.
Pop a little pickle. A little extra surprise. And to finish it out, we've got helva. It's just such a solid end to a meal. It's not too sweet. It's almost like what fudge wanted to be. A lot of time when I have fudge, I'm like, oh, it's a little too sweet. This, you've got like toasted sesame, the pistachio, and a light sweetness. The chew, it melts in your mouth. Listen, this is perfect for hosting or by yourself. The point is, this should be your next feast. Don't you guys agree? Come on, that's what I thought. Obviously, this can all be scaled up to any family size. This should be your next meal. Aren't you tired of turkey? Break the goddamn mold. Get a spindle, make it go, or you can put it on skewers and put it in the oven. It's not like you gotta have this fancy spindle. Thank you again to Amazon Fresh for sponsoring today's video. I know they're gonna be a huge help in simplifying your shopping experience. And if you don't know, brother, click the link in the description to find an Amazon Fresh grocery store near you. But do you wanna know what else is fresh? B-roll.